What's up, everyone? It is your girl GELBEAUTY 87 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into my Unearthly Cosmetics collection. So I figured I'd just show all the palettes I currently have. I did order the Devour palette yesterday, but it's a pre-order, so I don't know when it's gonna come to me. But I'm gonna just show you all the stuff I have from the brand now, talk about my likes and my dislikes, and I guess I could tell you where I would rank it. I already did a top 10 of my Unearthly Cosmetics ranking video, so I'll try to remember to leave the playlist for Unearthly Cosmetics over here, because I have a few things from the brand, so I have a few, like, you know, videos on the stuff I already own. So let's get into it. So I got these 3 quads in the holiday the Halloween mystery box. So I'm not going to show like the highlighter palettes and all the extra stuff that comes with it. I'm literally just showing the eyeshadow palettes. I do have some liquid lipsticks and some other stuff, but I'm just giving you an eyeshadow palette collection video because y'all know I do a whole bunch of eyeshadow here, so it makes sense. So this is the Thirst one. I'm assuming it's supposed to be Thirst for Blood because it's getting like the red blood situation going on with the palette. I liked this one okay. I'm not really big on red, so to me it wasn't that big a deal. And I wasn't that, excuse me, excited about it, but you know, she's cute. She looks nice. Or whatever. Then we have the Creepy Crawly, the green one. I like the color story of this one a little bit better because it gives some of those fun bright green tones. It has this nice little silverish, I guess, green tone with well, to me it's more like a silver color with like green reflective sparkles in it. And then you have like this darker green going to outer V. So I have my outer V shade, I have my crease shade or transition shade, then I have my other crease shade. I have these 2 crease shades to choose from, and then I have my inner corner shade, or I could put this in the inner corner and just do like an all matte situation. So either way, I like this one a little bit better than the red, just because I'm not really big on the red. Last one I have is Chilling. Of course, y'all know I'm here for the purples. I like the fact this is like a good alternative to that Kaleidos quad that they came out with called Glowing Iris. So if you have this, you probably didn't pick up Glowing Iris because it's like, did you need both? No. Now I didn't bring that one to show to compare it to this one, but they have pretty similar colors. I put this in an underrated versus overrated video a while back when this came out, so that should be a video from 2022. But I like this one the best out of those. I feel like this one and the green one were the ones I kind of gravitated to more. I haven't used these in a while, but in all fairness, I really reached for quads, so that's why this is kind of like a, you know, not ones I use that often. I was just curious to see what was going to be in the box, and I wasn't disappointed by that box. So the next one I have is an older one that still says Alien Cosmetics on it. This is the Don't Be Jelly palette. Now this is the original Don't Be Jelly with just all shimmers, no mattes involved. Y'all know there's a remastered version of this palette that came out this year that I do not own, but this is what the palette looks like on the inside. So nice shimmery shades to choose from. It's more like a blue, green, purple kind of shifting shimmer palette, which y'all know is my cup of tea. So I was definitely here for it when she first launched it. I think I got mine on a pre-order. I might have got it when it first launched for once, because y'all know Unearthly be known for having these pre-orders and everything, and I usually grab them. So I wanted to talk about this one, and I really like it. This is one of my more reached for all shimmer palettes when I do looks like that. Just FYI, put that aside from the all shimmer palette video. So next, another oldie but goodie I have. I think this and another palette I'll show you a little later was like the first. Well, I'll pull it up higher to show it next. But this Don't Be Jelly and the other palette I'm gonna show after this are like the first real purchases I made from Unearthly Cosmetics before I just started buying everything. But this is what the palette looks like on the inside. I love the color story of this. Doesn't it remind you of the Merry Christmas palette from Uden's? Because I told you all this would be a good alternative. Unfortunately, she doesn't make this one anymore. Hopefully she'll remaster it and bring it back, because I definitely think it would be a hit, especially since it gives the vibes of that palette, and Uden's didn't bring it back. Unless they're going to bring it back this year and not come out with a new holiday collection, which I'm thinking they might, since they got such a popular demand for it. But this one is really nice, and this one actually came out before that one, so hopefully she brings it back, because I really like the color story of it, and I think it's really nice. This was before she changed the formula of the brand a few times. I know it's been changed a few times, but this was one of the original palettes I got before she had changed the formula. So the last one I originally got when the brand first came out, and this was one of the formulas that did get changed. This is the Strawberry Milkshake palette. If you all remember, I told you all to go ahead and get this instead of going ahead and grabbing the Strawberry Shortcake from Glam Light, because I love the color story on this one a little bit better. I like the fun, interesting pops of green she chose, along with the like brighter pink tones, as opposed to the way the strawberry shortcake was, with a lot of green and a lot of pink, a lot of red, and not really that much pink, at least in my personal opinion. So that's why I told you all to get this one. I like this one just fine. I love the shimmers. I love the mattes. I think it's a gorgeous color story, and if you don't wear these tones that often, I figure it would be more reasonable for you to get the 9 pan as opposed to getting that big strawberry shortcake one. Now, if you're just getting strawberry shortcake for nostalgia, then I understand. But if you just wanted it based upon the color story, I would say look into the Unearthly Cosmetics one instead. And this again is another one of my most used palettes in the brand, because I was loving that color story when it first came out. I love to mix like pinks and greens, and I would put like the red on the lower lash line or whatever, and just make a gorgeous look. So the next one is one of the older ones as well. It's the Laura palette. She was talking about retiring this one a while ago. I think she changed her mind since I'm assuming everybody told her not to. But to me, I like this as a unique Christmas palette, if you will, because it kind of gives me Christmas vibes, but not necessarily truly Christmas vibes. More like Christmas and Halloween combined, because you got the nice oranges and the burgundies, and you got like a black, and you got a couple shifting shades, because this green shifts. I mean, I thought the shade shifted, but I'm thinking about another palette. But yeah, I really like this one. I use this one pretty regular too. I love to do like a green smoky eye with this, so I'll take the dark black, so I'll take the burgundy in the crease, and I'll put this green all over the lid, and then pick one of these shimmers to put in the inner corner, and I think the looks just looks stunning. Or I use the orange in the crease and everywhere instead of the red, and it still gives a gorgeous look, kind of like what I got on right now. I did like orange and green. I like to switch it up and do orange and green sometimes instead of blue and green like a lot of brands, but I really like the color story of this, and I like this palette, and I'm glad she didn't retire it like she's talking about. So next one I have is the Fairy Frolic. I ended up having to get this in a new formula because I didn't buy it in the original formula, and then she came out with this one, so I just went ahead and grabbed the new one. I like the color story of this okay. I don't like it as much as I like the Laura palette and some of the other ones, but I thought it was nice enough to where I would add it to my collection, because it is a nice palette. It's not one I reach for as much, like I said, but it's a nice color story. It's a nice formula. I don't know if it necessarily gives me like fairy vibes because of the type of tone she chose, but you know, it was there, and I was really into the brand. I'm still into the brand, so I went ahead and bought that one. So let's get another little pile of palettes. So I guess I'll get the rest of the older ones out the way, and then get into like the newer ones, because the rest of them are pretty new. Okay, so I have the Alien Cosmetics and Capricorn, sorry, Unearthly Cosmetics and Capricorn palette. I have no idea who Capricorn is, but this is what the color story looks like on the inside. I bought it just because it was unique and weird, and y'all know occasionally I like to buy palettes that like challenge me, and I feel like this one would definitely challenge me. Now with these two shades, I feel like they're pretty similar. I know they look different in the pan. I don't remember if they look different on the eye or not, but you can't get this one anymore anyway. But I liked the color story because I thought it would be a nice challenging palette for me, and I thought it would go very nicely with the, what is that palette? The All I've Wanted volumes 1 and 2, as well as the Don't Be Jelly palette. I'll get into the All I Ever Want is a little bit later. They're at the very bottom of the stack, so you just gonna have to wait, girl. But yeah, I like this. I don't love it just because, like I said, it's one I have to be challenged with, so I have to have the time to sit down and try to come up with a unique look, which is rare because the majority of the time I put on makeup I'm going to work, or I have to make content for like videos, and that's pretty much the only time I wear makeup. So this one doesn't get that much use for me just because I don't have a lot of time when I'm getting ready for work, and that's one I have to like look at and really think and contemplate on in order to make a look with. So that's why she doesn't, you know, she didn't get out much, but you know, it's okay. I still love her all the same. Next, I have the Hauntingly Glamorous palette from Sydney Nicole and Unearthly Cosmetics. Now this one, everyone says is a good alternative to Angie's palette, the Kaleidos Club Nebula palette. I do see the similarities and see what they're saying, but I feel like Angie's palette has a little bit more like coral going on, whereas hers is more like true red base. And then I feel like she leans into a little bit more of the purples and darker blues, and Angie does a little bit more of a combination of lighter blue, darker purple, and they do both have this similar kind of brightish green though. But I do say this would be a good alternative. It's not going to be the same as Angie's because the shimmers and sparkles in there are just unbelievable. But it is a nice alternative if you can find it on Mercari reasonably, because I know Angie's palette is being sold on Mercari for outrageous prices. So if you want an alternative, I would say this is an alternative. I'm not saying it's exactly this alternative, and I do actually reach for this one quite a bit when I am here, just because I really like the color story of this one. Next I have the Not Normal palette. So to me this was a good alternative for people who wanted the Beetlejuice palette from Melt that didn't get their hands on it, especially since this one actually has neutral tones in it. Like they gave neutrals in addition to some of these other unique colors that you saw in the, what was it, Recently Deceased palette. I believe that's the name of the green one. So I definitely liked this one a little bit better than that one because I felt like it had more color and variety in it, and I felt like a lot of the shades in that palette were really similar. So I usually pair that palette with this one because I feel like I get a better variety of tones, and the greens and the purples aren't the same in here as they are in that palette, because to me they're just a little too similar. Plus, like I said, you get this nice neutral smoky moment, and you can do a nice neutral smoky with like a more bearish tone place. So I feel like this is just a better layout. But in all fairness, you do get more shades in here than you do in there. It's only like 8, but this was one of my go-tos back in the day. I don't reach for it as much now, but I do still love it all the same. Okay, on to the next step, y'all. So I'm gonna go into some more, like, I guess, holiday ones. So I'm gonna grab the 2 Valentine's Day ones, and then I'm gonna grab some Christmas ones. Okay, so I got the one from the palette, from the box this year. The was this year or was this last year? This is the Surrender palette. I gave him the Valentine's Day box. So to me, it's just giving very much like the Love palette from Natasha Denona, but I guess a more muted version, or a little bit more colorful one. And again, this is one of those where I say you look at it in quads. See, look at that. You got 2 neutral quads right there, a more soft Valentine's Day color. Then to me, that's more of a traditional smoky eye, and then you got the fun pop in the middle for someone like me. So I feel like this is just one where you look at it in quads, you can get a easy, quick eye look in your mind instead of just looking at it straight across. But it definitely does give me the vibes of the Love palette from Natasha Denona, but it doesn't have that fun purple in it, or that like deep black. They chose a deep brown instead. It's a nice palette for a neutral lover who wants to get some makeup, but she didn't sell this individually ever. She just sold the box. So if you didn't get the box, you couldn't get this palette unless you find somebody selling it on Mercari. This isn't one I reach for that much, but we all know I'm not a neutral person, so it would make sense I wouldn't reach for what? A neutral palette. So that's why I don't really reach for that one that often. Ooh, y'all, I thought I had dropped something. Ooh, y'all. Next, I have the Sleepover palette. Now this one came out, I think this is the one that came out in 2022, because I feel like that box came out this year. Don't quote me though. But again, I love this color story. Now, this is my type of color story when it comes to neutrals. Again, y'all know I don't like the shade right here called Sleepover. But like everything else in this palette, like the color story is perfect for me. If this was just like a, literally like a deep, deep purple aubergine type shade without the shimmer in it, this would be like the perfect palette for me when it comes to like my mauves and stuff. Because it's like I got a lighter pink, I got a deeper pink, I got nice shimmer tones in here throughout, and I feel like this is just a great palette. All I need is for this shade to not have sequin in it and be like a deeper aubergine shade, and it'll be chef's kiss. So this is one of the palettes I reach for pretty regularly when I want that sort of look, because I know I'm going to get it from this palette, and I know I'm going to get the type of tones that I like. So on to the Christmas palette. So I have 3 Christmas palettes. Now, one came out at Christmas, but I didn't buy it at Christmas, and then she reformulated and brought it back out, and I went ahead and bought it. That's this In the Dark palette. If you all remember, I bought the Smells Like Holiday Spirit one instead. You'll see that in a second, but this is what it looks like. She reformulated and changed some of the shades in it. I forgot which ones got changed, because since I didn't have the original, I didn't like think to look it up. But I believe Karen said one of these shades were changed, or they said the purple was too similar, or they changed the shimmery shade. It was something that was changed in this palette from the original one that I ended up liking a little bit better, or I just wanted a more grungy palette. To me, this is like my what is that palette called? My blueprint, my custom made blueprint, and they just added purples to it, because my custom blueprint has deeper shades like this. It has the purple like the blue like this, obviously, because it's called blueprint. And then I feel like it's just a unique twist on blueprint with some purples. So I like it though. I think it's a nice palette. I've surprisingly reached for this pretty regularly as well. Next, I will show you my Smells Like Holiday Spirit. I'm still bummed about this one, y'all. Like, a couple of my shades in here broke. I don't know what happened and what my son did, but like, y'all, shades was popping and I was pissed. Like, I'm trying to press it down now because more of the purple is trying to pop out. I'm like, no more. I can leave. I've had enough fallout from this palette. Like, no more will leave. So here is that lovely purple shade at the bottom. I'm going to show you that's broken. I loved this palette so much. I'm so sad that my purple is broken and my brown is broken. If she ever sells them as singles, I will buy them again just to put in this palette, because I hate looking at palettes like this, but I love the color story of this. Fun fact, If you have the Street Taco palette from Glamlight, it's this like really similar color story to this if you're interested. So maybe I should take mine off my car and just keep it, since this one's broken. It just upsets me so. But I love mixing these colors together to get unique color stories. You all saw an eyeshadow look I did before with this palette that was really unique and fun. You all actually said you liked it, so I did a video on it. I think it was a Palettes That Inspire Me video showing you how to do this. So this is one I use pretty regularly, so that's why I'm really irritated it broke. But I had it sitting out to do my eyeshadow palette collection video, and I haven't put it back up yet. So that's what happened with that. So I haven't been lazy sometimes. But next is the one that came from last year, the Dead of Night palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. I like this palette okay. What I didn't like was I felt like a couple of shimmers like hard pan, and then y'all know I don't like these sequin shadows, and it's like 2 of them in here. So this one and this one are a sequin shadow, so I'm not a fan of that either. I surprisingly don't reach for this as much as I thought I would, because y'all know I love a blue, green, purple moment. I think because of those sequin shadows and the fact that I felt like the shimmers were hard pressed in here, I didn't want to reach for it as much, because I was like, I had other blue, green, purple palettes that don't have that issue going on with the shimmers and don't have any sequin shadows in them. So I think I prefer to reach for those more than I reach for these. So that's why I don't reach for this one that often. But it's not because I don't like the color story. It's just more of the things I mentioned. Like, if I have other palettes from the brand that don't do that, I'd rather reach for those than obviously these. So that's why it wasn't necessarily hitting for me. Okay, y'all, so we're gonna get into some fall releases, and then we're gonna end with like the 2 shimmer palettes I have left. I didn't try to bring them all at once. But next I have the Fall Magic palette from Unearthly. This is what it looks like. They have remastered this palette since, so there's a newer version out on her website. I'm trying to debate if I want to get that one or not. I want to see how the formula's working out in the Devour before I get it, because I told you all earlier this year I stopped buying from the brand because there was a lot of hard pressed shimmers in a lot of palettes, and I didn't want to keep like buying it and playing Russian roulette to see if they were going to work or not. So that's why I personally haven't bought anything. But the Devour palette was calling my name, so I went ahead and hit the trigger on that. And hopefully it works out, because if it does, then I'll buy the reformulated version, the remastered version of this Fall Magic palette, and then we can try them side by side and see which one looks better. Because I wanted to do a video like that, but I was like, it's $72 because it costs more than my Devour one I just bought. And I'm like, I don't know how the shimmers are hitting, so I need to see how the Devour shimmers are hitting before I pull the trigger on that, because to me 72 is a lot, especially since this Sephora sale is coming up soon. I gotta make y'all a video on that. Anyway, back to this palette, because I said all that and still haven't talked about it. So I love the color story of this. I think this is a perfect fall palette. I like the fact that this shade right here shifts. I like all the tones that are in here, even though y'all know I really don't vibe with warm tones as a general rule, or like neutral tones, but I feel like the neutral tones in here work well with what the palette is supposed to represent and go for. So I'm actually a huge fan of this and very happy to have in my collection. And when fall comes, I do reach for it somewhat regularly, surprisingly. Next I have my Witching Hour palette. So this was her Halloween collection the first year I bought a Halloween collection from her, and then the next year she did the quads, if you will, or whatever. And then there's one more set of Halloween palettes that I'm gonna have to show. But yeah, so this one, honey, it's giving I'm living, I love it. To me, this was a great release. And y'all know I don't really like orange, but I actually do use the orange in here when I'm in a pinch and need to get an eye look done quick out the door. But I love the combination of these colors together. I feel like this was a great idea for her to put these together, and they just look absolutely stunning. I am so happy to have this in my collection, and I reach for this one pretty regularly as well. So all the stuff on the floor has to stay. Then I have Leather and Lace. Now I didn't rush out to buy Leather and Lace because the color story, I was just kind of like, I don't know how I feel. This is what it looked like on the inside. It kind of gave me like, I don't know, it was like a lot of mattes going on and not that many shimmers, and I prefer more shimmers to matte, or a better shimmer to matte ratio. But I ended up catching this, I think, on a 40% off sale, so I went ahead and bought it, and I actually been using it quite a bit. I'm quite impressed with the formula of the mattes, and the shimmers working here pretty well, even though there's not that many to choose from. But I've still been able to make some decent looks with it, so I was actually shocked and surprised that I liked it as much as I did, considering I didn't want to buy it when it first came out. But and then I'm over here like, you know, gushing over it and whatnot. Y'all, hold on, I've been left the palettes on the other side. Okay, y'all, so on to my Halloween collection. So this is my Halloween collection from 2022. So I got 3 of the 4 palettes she came out with. So this is the 1964 palette. With this one, I was a little confused on what to do with the color story, but once you like look at it closely, if you cover up one side, you have a 6-pan palette. Because the other side, you have the 6 pan belt. Because I was looking at this as a palette as a whole, and I felt like it was a little confusing. I was like, I don't know what to do with this, but I ended up coming with something nice for the video for you all to like see me wear. It was just kind of hard to do, but once I covered them up like I just showed you, I felt like it was so much easier. And I have reached for it again. I don't reach for it as much just because, you know, I feel like it's still just a weird color story to look at and try to like maneuver through in general. But you know, next is one of my favorites. This is the So Strange palette. Who am I kidding? This is my favorite of all the Halloween palettes in this collection. And I mean, y'all see why. Look at how gorgeous this is. I feel like you get a nice sunset moment on this side, and then you get more of that pink and green that I said I like you get in Strawberry Milkshake. So again, you see, you get the pink and green that I talked about, and then you get a nice sunset moment for people who like more warm tone things. But as a whole, I feel like I can see more looks with this palette just looking at it like this as opposed to the 1964 like I just showed you. But I really love the color story and the look of this palette. So I reached for this one quite a bit, believe it or not. But y'all know I love color and I'm more of a rainbow-esque type of girl. So I feel like nobody is surprised that I reached for that quite a bit. Last is the one that disappointed me the most and the one I thought I was going to like the most. So this is the Weirdos palette. This is what she looks like on the inside. I mean, I was living for this color story. So I had like this pink and purple like romantic moment on the side, and then you had like this nice green grungy section, and then again you could pair them together with like the pink and the purple and the greens and make a gorgeous look at it. So again, I'm gonna show you. See, like you got your nice grungy section here, and then when you cover up, you got your nice like pink and purple section here. The only issue is mine showed up with the shade Glamorous, like hard panned in there. And I know they say you could fill out a form and they send you a new one or whatever. I didn't go through all that. I was just like, I put some, what is that, the mixing medium on it and mix it up and use it that way. So I didn't really concern myself with it too much, but I was kind of disappointed since these are so expensive. I think they were like 60 bucks a piece or something, that the shade showed up like that. So I don't really reach for this palette. I don't think I've like, I think I've reached for it one more time since I did the video, just because that kind of turns me off from reaching for it and using it. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so we at the end of the row. We got 5 more to go. I got the 2 shimmer ones I talked about, and then I got the these I'm about to show you. So there are 2 versions of the Bunnies palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. So I'll show you the original one first, which is the bigger one, and then I'll show you the smaller one. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, she didn't change the artwork, and one of the things I love about the artwork is like they're all different like tones of people. There's not just like, you know, one tone of person, if you will. This is what it looks like on the inside. So people weren't feeling the fact that the shimmer's so huge and the mattes were so small, because they feel like it should be the other way around. Like the matte should be big and the shimmer should be small, because you're using more matte than you are shimmer. I don't know if she was trying to be like unique in the way she made the palette up, and that's why she did it that way. But I know people said that they were not feeling it at all, and I can't necessarily say I blame them, because it's like realistically we all know you're going to use mattes more than you're going to use shimmer. So it makes no sense for the shimmer to be this huge and then this matte to be like this tiny. But I love the color story of this one more than I like the color story of the new one that you'll see in a minute. But I feel like the new one pairs well with the old one, and I understand why she didn't want to do the new one at first, because like people aren't really big on those shades versus more shades like this. But I like this one. I don't use it that much because it stays here, and y'all know I have to film videos here all the time for other things, so I rarely get to reach into other things to do unless I'm gonna wake up early doing Instagram pictures, and like I'm always tired, so we know that ain't happening. Next we have the new version of the Bunnies, and as you can see, it's a more pastel version. Now there is a repeat shade. The shade Golden Egg, she said, was so stunning and lovely that she liked it, so she just had to put it in this one as well. But as you can see, all the other ones are more pastel and lighty, so I feel like these will go nicely together, and I like to pair these together because I feel like they work best together. So you get like the airbrush tones in this palette, and then you get the deeper outer V tones in this palette to create the look. And then if you run out of the shade Golden Egg, which hello, in this one you're not going to, but in this one you might, if you can, you know, reach for this one and still have Golden Egg. So I like to pair both of those together, but you know, that's just me. Of course I have to talk about my Vitality palette. Honey, I mean, I feel like I don't need to say much about this. Y'all know this is probably my most used Unearthly Cosmetics palette, because I mean, look at it. It's stunning, it's amazing, it's wonderful. I'm so sad she's not bringing it back, but like I told y'all, when she comes out with the palette and individually instead of in the large mystery box, I will go ahead and get it and compare it for you all. I want to compare the fall magic one too, so I might go ahead and do that, but I don't need to say much about this because I'm always talking about it, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing it. So y'all, I still ran off and left those same palettes over in that same box, so let me go grab those and then we'll wrap it up because the battery's flashing too, so I need to go get another one. Be right back. Okay, y'all, so the last two palettes I know, right, new eyes. So this is the original Trio Chrome or Trichrome palette with the mini Trio Chrome or Trichrome palette. That's what's going on with the eyes. But here's the All I Ever Wanted Volume 1. This is what she looks like on the inside. I prefer the way All I Ever Wanted Volume 2 looks on the inside. But there's lots of gorgeous shimmers, dual chromes, multi-chromes in here, along with a couple of just simple metallic shades. Like this red metallic here kind of reminds me of the one in the Pat McGrath Mothership 5 that everybody's so in love with, including myself. There's a lot of blue to purple shifting shades, like this shade right here, Alien Princess. That's one of those blue to purple shifting shades. I think this is just a classic purple shade going on here, but it has a lot of great shimmers in this palette. I don't reach for this one as much as I do the second one, but as I said, the second one is my favorite one, so it makes sense that I would reach for it more than I reach for this one, y'all. Y'all, I'm so excited about Pat McGrath. Package finally arrived today. I've only been waiting a month. Yeah, but next is All I Want Volume 2. This last one I had to show you all, because like I said in the beginning, my Devour palette hasn't arrived yet. It's a pre-order, so I don't know when it's coming, but I'm excited. This is what it looks like on the inside, and as you can see, it definitely gives the vibes of the Danessa Myricks palette that she came out with. What is it, Volume 3, I want to say? Or it might be Volume 4, because I'm on Volume 5 now. So I think it's Volume 4, the bigger one with the 3 big shades that nobody likes on the inside, or majority of people don't like on the inside. To me, this is just a really similar color story of that, and you don't get as much product, which I guess depending on how often you use it is a good or a bad thing. I just had this one first, so I think I might be a little bit biased toward this one. Plus I like the different textures and finishes, and the fact that it doesn't have that row in the middle that I just do not like. I actually reach for this one more than I do the Danessa Myricks one, but again, it's because I think of this one first because I've had this one for the longest. But it is definitely one of my most used Unearthly Cosmetics palettes. So those are all my Unearthly Cosmetics palettes in my collection. I know it was quite a few, girl. I feel like this video is pretty long considering I've only been buying from the brand, I want to say maybe 3 years. I think I found them in 2020 if I remember correctly, but don't quote me. But that's all I had to talk about and show you all today. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.